So my stove has been broken for a while. And it's usable, but I only have like one good usable burner. It basically, something fell on it, and so one of the burners is damaged. On top of that, one of my hoses, for if I wanted to use propane, got damaged a long time ago, but I still had some butane left, and the stove that I was gonna get was a propane stove, so I wanted to use up all the butane I had before I officially switched over. So even though I have this giant 2-burner stove, I've only been using 1 burner for a while. But honestly, I got a lot of traction out this stove. I don't feel bad about it. I'm just going to switch over to the new stove, but let me show you the old one before I switch it out to the new one. So, spoiler alert, I need to review this fridge. So I do have 2 fridges in here right now. It's not a permanent situation. I already know what I'm going to do to not have 2 fridges, just because it takes up too much space. I literally crawl over that fridge to get into my driver's seat, which I can do. I think the top of it is actually starting to show it. Yeah, you saw Mickey standing up there for a second. Hi, Mickey. He loves to lay in the driver's seat. But anyway, we're going to be getting rid of that. That is the new stove. That's obviously my old fridge, which is actually off because I'm going to clean it out entirely. So right now, the only fridge I'm using is the ice cold fridge because that's the one that I'm reviewing. But here's the old stove. I did my best, but eventually, cleaning got behind. But you can see right here, one of the 4 prongs broke off. I am running off propane right now. My second hose got damaged. It was my fault. So I've only had 1 hose anyway, and I only have 1 burner that's actually safe to use. But like I said, I was trying to get rid of all of my butane before I officially made the transition to a just propane stove. And for a while, if I had a flat, big enough pan, I was using this. It wasn't the smartest thing while I still had some butane. Because if you have butane in this side, it'll still work. But I've had this stove for a while. I really put it through the ringer. Basically, something fell on it, and that's how this broke. It's obviously one of these, and this one broke off completely, which means this can't easily balance pots anymore. And so it's kind of dangerous because, let me grab a pot. If I put a pot on here and use it anyway, it'll do that. And depending on what's in there, that could be dangerous. It could cause spills. It just wasn't a great situation. So I transitioned to just using this one. So I've been rolling with a single burner for a while. If you're wondering why you can see the reflectix, I have the blinds up a little bit just to give me a little bit more space. But anyway, so we have our pot and on our safe burner, and it's been the only one I'm using. So I'm actually going to disconnect this propane bottle and use it for the new stove. I do have an extra propane bottle right behind it. The label got wet, so the label's falling off. So I have 2 right now because I'm not sure how much is left in here. And I'm going to switch these out. So the new stove that I got is this Primus profile stove. I'm going to set that up and get ready to just heat up some soup because that's a simple thing I can make on the stove. And then if this is successful, then I can use it for more ambitious projects in the future. I did get another stove and I hated it, so I ended up returning it. So hopefully this one I'll like a little more. This box is so big, I'm not looking forward to getting rid of it. rocky that's not there for you to climb on. All right. So before anybody says anything, yes, the windows are cracked. The windows are open on this side and they are cracked in the front. So I'm not doing this in a confined space. I know all the rules of propane. I've been doing this for 2.5 years now. I ain't dead. All right, let's go ahead and heat up some soup because I just want to do something really simple and easy to test out this new stove. So you know what real van life is? Wanting to keep your dishes down. This is my bowl. The pot it was cooked in. Saving me on some dishes later. Oh man, that's good and hot. So mostly I'm pretty happy with this stove. Like, I'm actually really impressed. It's been one of my favorite camp stoves I've owned since I started doing this thing. I had one of those little spider stoves back when I was in the car, and that got stolen. After that, I got single burner butane stove, and I think I had that one for a while until I voluntarily got the 2-burner stove because I was having a lot of situations where I wanted more than one burner. Obviously, nights when I'm doing more than just cooking, like a pot of soup. There's also situations where I want to heat up water for tea while I have food preparing. I drink a lot of tea. I don't really drink coffee. And so in those situations, I really wanted a 2-burner stove. So I ended up getting a 2-burner stove while I was in the minivan. And that was actually when I got the stove that I'm getting rid of now. And I had that stove and I was happy with it, honestly, up until the time one of the burners broke on me. I was very rough with that stove and beat it up, and it lasted well. So I really have no complaints about the 2-burner stove. I do with that stove though. With butane, you're pretty safe because you can unlock the little thing that triggers the gas to go. With butane with that stove. With propane, it could get dangerous because it was very easy to leave it leaking because you don't have to hit the unlock trigger to get the propane to start going. And so even though you're not triggering the burner to ignite, because it does self-ignite. Luckily, both of these stoves that I've had self-ignite. I think almost all the stoves I have, except for like the one I had, that little spider stove that I had when I was in the car. I think all of my stoves have been self-ignite, so I've never needed to have what do you call that thing? A lighter. My brain's not working right now, guys, in order to make it work. So I've always preferred that rather than fiddling around with a lighter. But luckily I never fell asleep and it happened, but there were times where like I accidentally hit the notch, and so I would hear that little which was the gas from the propane escaping, which is a little bit dangerous. So that is something to be aware of, which is why I always preferred using it with butane, unless I couldn't find butane, because butane was just safer and easier to click off so that you weren't accidentally leaking gas. than the propane. One of the reasons I just transitioned to a propane stove is honestly because they're easier to find. Like if you want a 2-burner stove. 1-burner butane stoves are all over the place. All kinds of brands make them. But 2-burner stoves, the easiest ones to get are propane stoves. So I was sticking with what I could find, which was a propane stove. My soup's getting cold. So I'm going to end this video real quick. Another thing I like about this is that it's easy to clean. It has a really heavy grate that's hot right now, so I'm not going to pick it up, but I can just pick that up and wipe right around the burners, which I could not do with my other stove. It was really hard to clean, like if stuff fell down between the burners. It was just really hard to clean. It had a lot of awkward corners to get to, whereas this one has an easily accessible tray that I can just wipe out. So I'm really, really happy with this Primus profile stove, which I bought. It was not given to me to review, unlike the Ice Cold fridge, which I need to get back to. Man, it's loud in this I'm in a supermarket parking lot. That's why you can hear carts outside the window. Maybe it's kind of loud. Sorry. I was switching stoves and I was like, I should just record it and turn it into a video. I'm feeling a little bummed right now. So I'm not full of all the energies, but I am happy with the stove. I think it was a good purchase, and I'm looking forward to using it in the future.
So, I really am rather happy with this new stove. Like, I really do love it. I love the look of it. I love the way it works. I'm just having a great time with it. But as always, Editing Dawn is here to take care of some specific business. Namely, all the awesome stuff underneath this video that satisfies the YouTube algorithm. That's that thumbs up button. It's also the thumbs down button. It's the comment section. Like, all that stuff lets YouTube know you're engaged with the video. And also, if you want to keep up with me and my further adventures, you can hit that subscribe button and ding that bell. And if you like my little orange cat, he has a channel too, so you can go over there and subscribe. See you in the next video.